We made it. We made it. We made it. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that, Law.
Come on,
Law. Give me that. There we go.
Bring it.
Come on a Monday, baby.
Here.
On a Monday.
Go anywhere.
We made it to draft week. AOC, John Machota, Law Nation. We are coming in hot. I'm going to take us being late on the chin. I know everybody Foots is late. I mean, but that's just my character. That's what I add to the show. You never know when I'm going to be here. What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Color people time, by the way, John.
I think John knows what that means. He's been around Clarence and Calvin Watkins enough. Now, listen, I just want to say this, guys. We made it. Everybody in chat, take a deep breath. We're here. We're not drafting a lineman, so I don't care what people are telling you about. That's a lie. It's a lie. Capital L. As always, this is episode number 26. I got that right, Law?
Episode Deron Bland, baby. Come on.
Episode 26. Episode 26. We are going to start with what we're hearing from John Machota. He wrote a great article today. It's a lot going on. We got a great show planned. John, talk to me.
I just think it's funny you start off with that offensive lineman stuff. So that Daniel Jeremiah did a conference call last week from NFL Network, and he said that from the people he talks to around the rest of the league, that the Cowboys are doing a lot of work on offensive linemen. So I knew that would make you guys happy when I read that.
Man, I worry about that crap. Everybody worry about that crap, man. They don't interviewed all kind of people, hella undrafted free agents and everything, man. The Cowboys have talked to like 90 dudes.
I know that's a tough part about this time of the year is you hear rumors and you hear things about them being interested in just about every position. So It's tough to put too much into any of those things. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We have our annual pre-draft press conference that Will McClay is going to be at it, and Brian Schottenheimer, and obviously Stephen and Jerry. And then later in the afternoon, this is earlier than they normally do it. They're doing their home run derby that they usually wait till after the draft, and then they have some of the rookies there, but they're doing it tomorrow afternoon. So Mike is going to be there. Recently engaged Jake Ferguson is supposed to be there. A couple other, Deron Bland, a few others. Dak isn't participating, obviously, because he's coming back from the groin injury, but there should be a decent amount of Cowboys news to come out of tomorrow. So definitely it'll be interesting to see what Jerry and Steven and the rest have to say about what they're looking at 12. You know, obviously they're not going to tell you anything, but I still think if that right wide receiver isn't there, that they're moving back. So we'll see.
So we won't shock the world. You saying that groin injury is not the hamstring injury, right? It was just a slip of a word, right? He don't got no groin injury.
My bad.
Yeah. You know how I don't want people to say John Machota said that got a groin injury. Yeah.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm coming back from his hamstring, season-ending hamstring surgery injury. So no groin injury that I know of. Sorry.
Yeah. You muted or something, or I can't hear. I'm deaf all of a sudden. What's going on?
All right, there we go. Okay. I will say this. The funniest thing about draft season is exactly that. And we're going to talk about rumors in the top 10 today, but let's just get into a few Cowboys rumors. And I think AOC hit it on the head, but he also did a great piece of work on just how many resources the Cowboys have used at the offensive line position. So Nick Harris wrote an article that they've done work on Josh Simmons, which I had my thoughts on that. And I've also talked to people. I know a few people close to that Ohio State program. So I have thoughts on that. And then obviously people are now excited about air quote Tyler Booker. To be honest with you, I haven't put out my offensive line rankings. Number one, this class just isn't great. And number two, Tyler Booker wasn't even considered. I actually have Gray Zabel as a higher interior lineman prospect than Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker struggles very bad laterally. So he can move forward pretty well, but he struggles laterally. And John, Law, AOC, let's just jump right into it. Linemen, we're coming in with the gloves off. Linemen at 12, to me, at 12, staying at 12 and drafting a lineman, with all we know, with everything that Steven has told us, and just what we know about this team, it's malpractice. You brought in so many linemen to kind of cover yourself. And here's the thing. and I'll let you guys go because AOC, I actually want you to talk about your video. But with Simmons, there's actually been reports by multiple publications that he doesn't even like football and that he was questioned about his football character. Yeah. And also, he's hurt. So we want to everybody, and I had an exchange with Duke Manyweather, and but to be honest with you,
a video about that after this.
Yeah, bro. Did you make sure you use our tweet? And so this is what happened, John. This is what happened, John. And this is the Cowboys Collective. So now I'm gonna use my voice because everybody, Foots, he's the expert. That's fine. But this is what happened, John. I'm on the couch, AOC. So I'm listening, and there was articles literally were written about what Duke said about Tyler Guyton. Well, you know. And I'm gonna tie this into Josh Simmons. I know I'm long-winded right now, but
no, you bro. Set it up. Set it up.
So there was literally reports about where Duke said, you know, it's up to him, right? This is the wording. It's up to Tyler if he wants to be great. I'm like, okay, 23-year-old kid, it's up to him. But he was just training with you last offseason. But okay, we'll just forget about that. But
I think Vox trolling Stone, he trolling at this point. He know everybody on the offensive line. So me
and Vox actually got we got a shouting match last year when they because he didn't like Tyler Guyton, but whatever. So they want to take a victory lap. But I was like, okay, the fan base has been up on Guyton when he was in training camp, and remember he was working with Duke, and just send him to Duke, and he's gonna clean him up. And then now today it's up to him. And the reason why I bring that up, John, is we're talking about Simmons, who, if you're drafting an offensive lineman, so let's just say they do, shouldn't he be the cleanest prospect, John, that you've seen, I've seen, we've all seen? It should not be a guy that you have any reserve, knee, mindset, any reserves about. So that's kind of like my soapbox thing. And it's just like, this is why I've always said, these guys, and they're going to these trainers, and we put these trainers on these pedestals. Get with your coach. What does your coach want you to do? Okay. AOC, take it away.
So, and into that same vein, man. So, essentially, what Foots was referring to earlier is a video on my channel went up about a few hours ago. And essentially, man, Cody Warren with InsideTheStar.com did some excellent leg work as it pertains to the last 10 years of the Cowboys and what they've used their picks on in the first 3 rounds. And what we have found is a disturbing trend that if we want things to change, this has to change too, man. 6 offensive linemen have been drafted in the first 3 rounds in the last 10 years. Wow. 6 defensive linemen have been drafted in the first 3 rounds in the last 10 years. 4 cornerbacks have been drafted in the first 3 rounds in the last 10 years. Then you get to the receivers. 3 of those. Gallup, CD, Tober. Then you get to running back. 1 in the first 3 rounds in the last 10 years. So with your skill positions combined, wide receiver, running back, you're looking at 4 top 3 round draft picks used on skill positions over the last 10 years, bro. Come on, man. What we doing, bro? What are we doing, man? We talk about we want everything else to change. Everything else to change. We need Jerry to change. We need Steve to change. We need Franz these things different. We need them to draft differently too, damn it. We need them to draft a little bit different. Try something different just this one season. Like Foot said earlier, I don't think there's any generational offensive linemen in this draft. Hell, some of the best left tackles coming out of college are actually more suited to be guards coming into the league this year. You looking at guys like Josh Simmons and Kelvin Banks, and people are like, hey, are these dudes better at guard? So absolutely not, bruh. You got to get yourself a weapon. You have only drafted 1 weapon in the top 3 rounds since Dak has been here, bro. 2, my bad, Tober. Count Tober in the 3rd round. In a weak wide receiver draft, him getting drafted in the 3rd round that season is like getting the 5th or 6th round receiver, bruh. So, no, I'm team weapon all the way. I don't want to hear no poppycock about no offensive lineman, bruh.
John, you got this, or you want me to jump in?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so when you have a no identity offense, right? That's was the calling card for the Cowboys for many years. The one identifiable thing that worked for the Jason Garrett administration was drafting the offensive line. That's when the Cowboys really start to grit the grind, right? And they kind of carried over to the, I believe, the front office point of view. And we needed offensive line, believe it or not. But the problem is, yes, you are 1,000% right. We do need players, somebody that can actually score a touchdown when necessary. So many people compare us to our nemesis. I guess you can put them in that category, the Eagles. But if you look at what the Eagles did to surround players around Jalen Hurts, it's ridiculous good in a way. But what the Cowboys did is that they had no identity on how to build around Dak Prescott, in my opinion. And the only thing that they've been hitting at is the offensive line, because I believe that's the best spot that they can look at as it relates to evaluating this team. What's your thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Well, in terms of the offensive line thing, I don't feel like there's somebody at 12 that on the offensive line that you absolutely have to get. I just don't look at this draft that way. You know, if you thought there was a Tyron Smith there or something like that, the way they felt about Tyron in 2010, that'd be different. You know, if you're like, no, this guy, you know, we're going to put this guy next to whoever. We'll say it's Tyler Smith for the next 10 years. And we think that we're just going to have the best left side of the line in the NFL or something like that. You could probably sell me on that, but I just haven't heard anybody talk about any of these offensive linemen like that. And so, I honestly don't think they would take an offensive lineman at 12. The only way I think they take one in the first round would be that they traded back and they got wiped out on other positions to where they're just like, all right, well, we're going to take an offensive lineman here at whatever, 19 or something like that. But I just don't think that'll happen. I think there's just too many other positions that would still be available, even on a trade back 5, 6, 7 spots, that offensive line just wouldn't make a ton of sense in this particular draft. Especially with the new coaching staff, like I've said before, I want to see them work with this offensive line, let them know what they have there. And if they want to go into next year's draft and then reevaluate, that's fine. But I mean, to take one at 12, man, that would be screaming that they don't trust this offensive line at all, that they're like, no, we're in a lot of trouble here. You know, Dak doesn't have a chance unless we take this pick right here. And I don't feel that that's the case at all. So in terms of what you said, though, Law, about the Eagles, I will say, I mean, they're loaded across the offensive line too. So it's tough to like just point to one area. Their whole offensive line, their whole offense is loaded at all spots, and they're paying the guys too. So not a lot of talking about pie coming from Philadelphia. They seem to be taking care of everybody. Most recently, obviously, Cam Jurgens. So I would be shocked. I would be very, very, very surprised if they took an offensive lineman, especially if they're sitting there at 12. I just think there's too many other good players at other positions that could help them immediately. Obviously, like Ted McMillan.
Quick question, John, before Foots go. Have you ever seen this many offensive linemen on the team and expect more to come? The offensive line boys is who we are now.
No, but it does remind me a little bit of when they did take Tyron, because the reason they were doing that at that time at 2010 is because that offensive line had gotten old. And so they were just, they were trying to redo it with, like Nate Livings, Mackenzie Bernardo, all these guys. They were just bringing in guys because they had to change things around, where I don't get the sense from this coaching staff that they feel that they're like that. They obviously feel they have an outstanding talent in Tyler Smith. They feel really good about BB at center. Right. And they feel better than the fans do about their right and left tackles. So the way that I'm getting it from the team is that the only question mark right now is the right guard spot, and who's going to be starting there in Zach Martin's old spot. And they seem to have a lot of bodies to throw at it to have the best man win, coming out of training camp. I think the leader in the clubhouse right now would probably be Brock Hoffman, but that could change, just because he has the experience.
He the lightest in the clubhouse too. Break the pool stick though. Yeah. Let them boys fight for it. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, no, for sure. But the other thing is I don't mind them having a bunch of offensive linemen, because I think you really do need to have a bunch of depth there too. That's something that this offensive line's been missing is good depth. So, I mean, by all means, go into the season with 11 offensive linemen on the roster on the 53. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. But I just think the other thing why I don't like an offensive lineman at 12 is just there's too many other holes on the roster.
Right. No doubt.
So first, I want to just go back to a few things. People act like Tyler Guyton was Chaz Green. That's number one. Tyler Guyton was on par for a rookie left tackle who had to face Myles Garrett, had some ups, had some downs.
Right.
I don't even know what to believe about the immaturity. And even if he was, he's 22. I wasn't fully mature at 22, 23. So we've gotten spoiled by Tyler Smith, who, the fan base didn't want Tyler Smith. He comes in and he was great. Yeah. We got spoiled by a few other players who people didn't want, and they were great. And so now we live in a world, guys, where if a guy doesn't hit automatically, John, it's like just throw him away. And Mike Tomlin said it best. Development doesn't stop when you get to the league.
Facts.
And we all wanted Mike Solari gone. Well, a lot of people wanted Mike Solari gone. Yeah. And so was he being coached? Was he being pushed? The thing that I've always said about trainers they'll push you just enough. They'll push you just enough to get the money, put you on their website, take a video, the whole nine. But are they going to go into and say, hey, you guys run a lot of outside zone. You guys run a lot of pin pull. Let's look at this. Let's get your hand usage better. Let's look at this exactly. Let's spend exact time with you to clean up what you need to do. And that takes time. And if you're training 20 guys and you're getting them ready for the draft, or that's any position. I mean, hell, Devontae Diamond just got in trouble with a whole nother situation. This is receiver. This is all of these positions. So that's number one for me with Guyton. I just think that he can still develop. The Cowboys would be doing themselves a disservice. Because guess what, John? Let's say you go out and you draft a lineman or AOC and he doesn't hit. Now you have 2 first-round linemen that you've tried to rush.
Yeah.
Right? And so that just absolutely makes no sense. Then I hear guys like a guard, again, Booker, some of these other guys. Absolutely not. These guys are second-round picks, bro.
Those dudes are no better than the NFL players you already got on your roster, bro.
Yeah, and then when's the last time an Alabama lineman is hit? It's been a while. And then a guard, guys, you don't draft a guard at 12 unless he's Quentin Nelson. And you didn't even draft Zach Martin at 12. That was around 17. Not drafting him at 12. Now, here's the thing.
Break it down.
Oh, if Zach Martin was in this draft, I'd take him at 12 easy.
For sure. I'd take him top 10.
That draft that he was in was nasty. That
was a great draft.
Hey, it was between him and Donald, right? They was in the same class, and it was like,
but you want to know something, Law?
Well, go ahead.
You want to know something about that? I remember Donald and Zach. Dang, both of those guys out the league retired. They were at the Senior Bowl, and the only player who could block him was Zach Martin.
Yeah.
And it would be like Donald would win a rep, Zach would win a rep. That's why I said Gray Zabel is probably the one that I would say, but are they going to draft a small school guard at 12 or at pullback? No. So that's out. People, they stop it. And then like even guys like Kelvin Banks and, whoever, just name them.
Well, you did say this, and I'm not playing devil's advocate, but Kevin Banks do have better feet than these guys like you're talking about with Josh and as well as Tyler. But I'm just thinking that I just don't want the Cowboys to do that just based off of what AOC said earlier about the trends and patterns of the Cowboys. I don't want to do that. Give us a wide receivers. Give us a wide receivers.
So now I want to transition to this team and the rumors that we're hearing. And so I kind of wanted to start it off with that. And then what we'll do, guys, is we'll start off with the rumors that we're hearing based on the draft order. And then we'll look at my mock draft. I did a 7-rounder, and you guys can tell me what you like. You don't like. John said pre-show that he has some thoughts. But hey, I will say this, John, we got 325 people here on a Monday. AOC,
come on with it.
Come on, man. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the everything up. Okay, so here we go. Few rumors that I've heard, and you guys tell me how you would feel. Number one, the Saints are completely out on a quarterback, especially Shador. So I've heard that they aren't in the Shador market. If there were to be a quarterback, it would be Dart. How does that make you guys feel as far as does Tet get there? Does he go there? Because, Kellen Moore did have 2 good receivers, so that would be like Olave and Tet. I've also heard they love Jalen Walker. So I'm going to pair this two ways. John, AOC, Law, all the research I've done, Jalen Walker, Shamar Stewart, and Michael Williams are like locks to go in the top 10. Which is, I think, good for us. But I know that they said Carolina will absolutely draft Jalen Walker. Absolutely. He's from Carolina. They love him. Their defense is bad. And if Jacksonville somehow passes, then they're going to go Mason Graham. Okay?
Yes.
So let's just stay with those 2 rumors right now. How are you guys feeling that if those ends go and they don't go quarterback with the Saints, because that's a team to watch?
I mean, celebrate. Happy days, hell. I mean, the more positions that the Cowboys already have enough of to go in the top 10, the better, bro. And I think that honestly, edge rusher is a luxury at this point. I think they have enough to where you can feel comfortable going into the season at least. You're about 3 deep on both sides. So I like that. I love hearing Michael Williams and Jalen Walker and these. Hell, let's get Tyler Show to one of these teams. How about that? Yeah. I seen Tyler Show rumors flowing. Let's get him into the top 10 too. Screw it. Can we get another Josh Rosen or Trey Lance situation to pop off, or Anthony Richardson? Can we get one of those kind of situations to pop off? Let's get 3 QBs in the top 10, bro. I want the Cowboys to have a pick of the litter with skill positions, man.
Oh, the other one, though, too, is it would be Tyler Warren.
Yes.
For the Saints.
Yes.
They have nothing on their roster that would make me think that they wouldn't do that either. So he'd be another guy that could potentially go before the Cowboys pick that you'd be happy about. But the one thing I will say, though, about the quarterbacks is I always wonder, like, now there haven't been any trades. It's been kind of wild. There are many trades up to this point. But I always wonder if, like, other teams could potentially trade up to get one of those quarterbacks, whether, just because the Saints don't want, let's say, if that is true, Shedeur Sanders, who's to say that another team doesn't, that they are not willing to come up and jump somebody to get Shedeur or Jackson Dart or something like that. So they might not. Maybe there is only one quarterback taken in the top 15, but I'll kind of believe that when I see it. So, but yeah, that's what you want. You want, man, you'd love Malachi Starks, a tight end.
Come on,
and even some of those edge rushers, because that's not what the Cowboys absolutely need, So I think if that happens, then I think then you'll be in a good spot where you'll either take McMillan or Golden. And it'll be interesting if both of them are there and they take Golden, just because I wonder how fans will, take to that. And it'll be one of those things too, where if they do pick between those two, you can judge it in the moment, but what'll end up happening is you'll judge it over the long term, like who has a more productive type career, because one could easily be a bust. But I think they're going to be in a good spot where they're going to get to pick the top wide receiver in this draft. I don't know, multiple mocks that I've done, people I've talked to that cover other teams and stuff like that. I just think there's a really good chance one of those receivers are there.
No doubt, man. Great point, man. You know where we at? We are in the lion season, right? So we can't really trust anybody.
We in the what season? The lion season?
The lion.
Because I know you know about that.
Yes, indeed. Especially if Stephen Jones already said that he would go into this particular situation of not moving up. And on top of that, when you think about this, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying this for years, them damn 49ers, they may be the sneakiest people that's right in front of us, because they still need a wide receiver. Didn't they get rid of Brandon Ayuk? Is kind of like in that shadowy place, right? And on top of that, with what's his guy name that's over here on Washington team now?
Devo.
Yeah, so they in a very need of a wide receiver. So that was the only thing that got under me, is the 49ers drafting right ahead of us. Will they do anything sneaky?
Yeah. Well, I think, to me too, like, we gotta realize they need offensive line bad too. So it all depends. I've heard today too that the Patriots are a lock to go Will Campbell. But there's people who want to push back on that because they just they don't see a great offensive lineman in Will Campbell. And like the film I watched, people give me a lot of hell when it comes to Shamar Stewart, but Shamar Stewart gave Will Campbell fits. Now they didn't turn the sacks, but when you talk about speed to power, he gave Will Campbell a lot of issues. Kelvin Banks, everybody loved Kelvin Banks to start the process, but when you look at how that Georgia D line whooped on Kelvin Banks, they whooped on Cam Williams, they whooped on that whole Texas offensive line. And so these guys, just being honest, aren't clean prospects. And again, with Simmons, we don't know if he's going to be healthy. So that stuff is interesting.
Right.
What I've heard.
Hypothetical, real quick here.
Let's go.
Okay, come on with it.
Let's say that they lost, 2 or 3 more games. I don't know how many it would be. I don't have the standings in front of me, but let's just say that the Cowboys are picking 8. Who would you want there? Because I still think I'm taking McMillan.
If we went to 8,
yeah,
Genty there?
Genty's gone.
Genty's gone. Oh, it's McMillan. This is where I'm at, John. And I'll let you guys go, because I know you guys. For me, with Ted McMillan, he's not a receiver 2. He's a 1A.
Right.
He's a 1A. Yeah. John, he's a 1A. You don't have that on this team. I read a really good article from Nate Tice about how Ted McMillan wins, and everybody says it's not separation. Right. No, he's separating fine. It just doesn't look the same because he's 6'5".
Linear, yeah.
He's 6'5". It's just linear. There were so many throws that he's NFL open and Fafita's holding the ball. He's throwing it to a bad spot. Tet still goes up and makes a play.
Yeah,
his volleyball background, John. So we've talked about it ad nauseum. My pick is going to be Ted McMillan. It's not going to change. I'm glad you brought up Genty, John. AOC Law. Apparently, Jacksonville is a lock. Now, we talk about lying season. This could be lying season, whatever. Guess what, guys? Is Jacksonville seriously going to pass on Mason Graham for Ashton Genty, a running back? The same running back attack that this fan base said, you don't draft a running back in the top 5. That's malpractice. You don't do that. Apparently, the Jags
still got ETN, don't they? They still got one, right? But they need another running back for. Go ahead. Somebody will take that one.
Yeah, what you think? I mean, this is crazy because, you know.
If he was there at 12?
No.
It'd be. I would have to have a conversation.
Who's the new coach for?
I would take Ted. Go ahead. Go.
No. Who's the new coach for Jacksonville? What's his name?
It's Liam Cohen. But I was gonna. John's making me think. John's funny.
He might want him a Duval toy. He might want
him. That's all I think of when I see that
guy.
They have to win so much. To make me think of anything other than him saying that. They would have to. They probably got to make AFC Championship game for me to ever forget that. But anyway, sorry. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what if Mason Graham was to fall like that, and defensive tackles obviously a need. Yeah. I don't think the fans would love that, but
no, I wouldn't love it either. Liam Cohen looked like a young Gru from Despicable Me, but but to the example that you just gave us, bro, I have been looking at Jacksonville as the wild card in the first 10 picks that could completely turn the draft upside down because they've been a team traditionally that you just have no clue. You have no clue what they're going to do in the draft. There's years you go think they go offense, they go defense, you think they'll go defense, they go off. So I have no clue what Jacksonville is going to do. I have no clue what Liam Cohen already likes over there. And he may be wanting to get an Ashton Genty because how can you help Trevor Lawrence the most? Either offensive line or running game, a strong running game that you can really allow to backpack the team. So, like I said, Foots, I'm really not mad, bro. At this point, I've had my mindset on Emeka Ibuka, Matthew Golden, Ted McMillan. Well, we're going to get somebody we want, bro. They cannot mess that first pickup unless they try to, bro. They got to actively try to mess that mug up.
They better be having the mindset we leaving here with something, right? So hopefully we better get somebody that can be a playmaker out there on the field.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, guys, like, do we want to have a conversation about developing another tackle or just any lineman where it's like, okay, the room is already kind of shaky. You got 14 guys in there, so the reps are going to be low. It's a new coach. Do we want to do that, or do we want to have a guy with Guyton who's been in the room and say, you know what, this weapon, your job, CeeDee Lamb's already here. He's established. He's a top 3 receiver, top 5 receiver in the NFL. Your job is now, hey, year 1, we're going to give you end breakers. Go beat the teams. Have you guys looked at the cornerbacks in the NFC East? It's not great. Cornerback room, maybe Philly, everybody else, just guys. I mean, you talk about other teams' needs. Washington needs cornerback help. They made a big play from Marshawn Lattimore. Didn't pass.
Before you say anything else, look, I know a few Eagles fans still watching over here. You know, that front 7 really helped out those DBs,
sure.
You know. Sure. So we'll see whether or not they can catch lightning in the bottle again. But I seen Mingo route up Quinyon Mitchell, and I seen Tolbert able to pull the ball out of the sky, and we know how Tolbert is. So, Eagles, we coming.
And so I just think that when's the last time, like, you would think, right, that you want to maximize your quarterback's window. With AOC just gave you the numbers with weapons, with weaponry. I think that some of this smoke screen stuff, like Daniel Jeremiah, I was very shocked at how low he had Ted.
Moving stick stuff, bro.
That stuff was crazy.
I was like, ain't no way, bro.
That was he had him ranked below Emeka, and that's just when I got to myself like, ooh, I mean, that's a weird hill to die on, because what'll happen is he'll get drafted by Dallas with a great quarterback. Tech could easily be a 900-yard receiver in this offense.
Yeah,
Yeah, in year one with CD, because I mean, coverage is going to be dictated. So my pick would be Ted McMillan. We got 400 people in here, and I'm feeling great.
That receiver room would be better than Amari and CD
for sure, bro. Those are the takes. Like we've talked about so many linemen. How about maybe, just maybe? And I said, bro, right now CD's better as a prospect. I can make an argument for Ted. I'm not saying he's better, but I really love Ted McMillan. I just can't, for the life of me, just a guy that went from a surefire top 5. There's no way Dallas will have a chance to right. To draft him. Is just like we can have a chance. It's crazy. All right, let's get some of these super chats. This has been a good one, guys, so far. Let's get some of these super chats going. So Scarecrow says Law Nation is the GOAT. Law Nation definitely is the GOAT. Thank you for the $2. T-Mac gone. T-Mac gone, least bus. Okay. And I think that that's what AOC was saying. He loves Emac. I love Emac too. Most great blocker. Yeah. Clean. And maybe a trade back option. The thing about trading back too, you gotta have a dance partner.
You gotta find someone to dance with you,
John. Okay, this one's for you, John. If we trade down, are you out on Luther Burden, John?
No, I'm not, and I don't think the Cowboys are either. Just if they trade back, I wonder if they have him behind Abuka, or who knows where Matthew Golden goes. And then the other thing that comes into play for me is, depending on how far you go back, would be Omarion Hampton. At what point do they think that he's, because here's the other thing: if they move that far back, then you're getting a second in return. So you're going to have, let's say you take Hampton, and then in that second round, you're going to have 2 picks. Obviously, one of them needs to be a corner. But then you could do whatever you want with the other one. Maybe that's, I don't know. It's tough because I don't think if they don't get one of those top 4 receivers, I don't see them drafting a receiver. I don't think they need anything other than a 2. So that's the other reason why I just really think that they take a wide receiver at 12, because once you get out of the first round, there's just not the receivers there, because I don't think Burden makes it to the second round. So once you get out of the first, there's not really a receiver there that you're like, oh, well, this guy's definitely better than Jalen Tolbert. You can't tell me that. There's nobody after that top 4 that you can tell me is better definitively than a Jalen Tolbert in year 4. I don't know that, So that's the only thing about the trade back there. I still think receivers in play, even if they move back.
Receivers in play. There's 2 wild cards, like AOC said earlier about wild cards, but there's 2 wild cards of people that knew that coached here, basically. Sean Payton and Kellen Moore, right? We are looking in between those 2. What if Sean Payton picks up the phone and say, well, Jerry, I want to trade up to the 12th spot to get my running back that I want, right? And that could be a blessing for us, or whoever the Saints draft for their draft, that could be a blessing for us. But what if Sean Payton do that? Because Sean Payton has been known to take the craziest of the craziest risks in the draft. Remember, he originally had drafted, I believe, Peyton Turner. And he originally drafted Marcus Davenport back in the days. So Sean Payton, with his drafting philosophy, it's been a wildest of the wildest. And if that can happen for us on draft night, good Lord, boy, we in a good situation.
Yeah, I think that Sean, and look, when Sean trades up, nobody will question it, Law. Everybody will say, oh, man, Sean Payton is one of the smartest people to ever do it. And I just think, too, like, even if it's, so let's play a scenario that it's Hampton, guys. How are we feeling that if the Cowboys draft Omarion Hampton, John Machota go? How you feeling?
At what pick?
At 12.
I don't love that.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't look at him like that. I think if you traded back, it would be more interesting. I just think there'll be better options at 12.
Getting more picks, yeah. Especially when you look at the numbers, Law.
My thoughts is, if as long as you believe ultimately if that Omarion is your guy and you want to get your guy, then do it, right? We got 10 draft picks, and I get it. We want extra picks in the top 100. I do agree with my guy John on trading back, then get him. But if they ultimately believe that Omarion can be that source of answer reasoning for him, then I can't get mad at it.
And real quick, just to be completely honest here, I hate when people don't ever point out when they're wrong on stuff. I didn't like Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, so, and obviously we're wrong on that. So,
my man, John, I like that.
I love that. That's why he's the best, man.
Yeah.
Man,
you too. Yeah.
I put it like this, man. I'm not in a position where, as long as we get a weapon, I'm not gonna necessarily be mad. Could there be a critique as to like, hey, maybe you could have, maximized your positioning a little bit better and still got what you wanted? Yeah, but I'm not gonna be mad, bro. If they get a receiver or a running back around one that makes sense in the range, it is what it is, bro. I'm not here to be, to meta analyze every single thing they do, even when they do the right thing. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you could have been even more right by doing it this way. I'm not about to do that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for the super chat, Andrew Santana. So if you go rewatch, and thank you, it's 400 people here on the show, and we may get to this later, Andrew. But if you go rewatch the last show we had, these great gentlemen gave us their 2-round scenarios, and so great question. I can't remember everybody's 2-round scenario, Andrew, but if you go and rewatch, and that'll help us out as well. Go rewatch the last episode, and they gave everybody their 2-round selections. All right.
I will say this real quick, though.
Go ahead. Take your time, John.
Yeah, going off of Andrew's question there. As much as I feel like they need to go receiver in the first round, just when you look at what else is left after that, I really don't love not taking a corner by the end of the second round. I don't. Like, the corners that are there after, and maybe you can push it to a third, maybe, but the corners that would be there for you with them not having the 4th round pick, and this team needs a starting caliber corner, I do not love them. So to answer his question, at 12 and 44, I feel like wide receiver at 12, 44 corner is where I'm at right now.
Hey, John. I've adapted, and I won't spoil my mock, even though you've already saw it. I've got in my mind offense, defense, offense. And I think the pairing will be receiver, linebacker, or corner, running back, in some type of way. I don't think that
if we go running back in the 3rd round, who you want?
Damian Martinez.
Thank you.
Yeah, Damian Martinez, and then my diet Coke will be DJ Giddens or Brashard Smith.
I just feel like you guys would feel, and I certainly would too, you would feel better about whoever that running back is there than you would feel about whoever the corner back is there. Yeah. Because there was a time when I thought that I think it's a hip injury with Morrison would cause him to fall. I think that ship sailed. I don't think that's going to cause him to fall.
Come on with it.
So John, did you see my tweet on Morrison?
No.
Best press corner in the draft, baby.
Yeah.
And it ain't so like what people think Jadae Barron is. That's what Morrison is. That's what he would be in this defense law. He get like you talk about conditioning. I think I charted like the reps he plays press man. It literally is almost like he probably is in the best conditioning outside of Travis Hunter. The only thing was just the hip. But apparently, according to Calvin Watkins, the team went out there and they worked him out in that private. I would probably take him over Savon Ravel, guys. I just think that when you talk about, because honestly, it's no probably. I would, because show me a guy who's played big time football against big time players. And if you were able to do that, I mean, go watch the reps. Marvin Harrison Jr. beat him a few times, but just how he doesn't stop. He keeps coming. He'll tackle you. He's in your grill. He breaks on the football. We haven't had somebody like that since really before Diggs' first injury, where it was like every rep he's a threat to take the ball away. Well, I take that back because you did have Bland when he had all the interceptions, but I mean adding another corner to that room like that would be great.
They sound like Damian Martinez because he lacks juice. Man, Damian Martinez is Marshawn Lynch light. Y'all better quit playing with, bro.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to say about this corner thing real quick, though, for them to take a corner in one of the first 2 rounds, man, this team, and as long as Will McClay's been running the draft, they're big on arm length. Benjamin Morrison at 30 and a half, like all the guys that they take high are like 32 and above. Like it's Trayvon Diggs, Calvin Joseph was like just a little bit under 32. So if you're looking at that as a marker, like that Will Johnson wouldn't fit that. Jadae Barron wouldn't fit that. Maxwell
Jadae Barron's out. I told people that.
In a roundabout way, like tomorrow, I guess when they do the Q&As with the front office and everything, can you explain to them like where do you all see your weaknesses at on this team, basically?
Yeah,
because if you're talking about DBs, right, and you won't go no further than the 3rd round, if Bland goes down, I'm not wishing this on anything. We are back in the same boat that we were at last season, right? With the unknown. Shout out to Kyrie Elam. But yes, DB is a major, major need. So yes, I do agree with that approach. So Foots, I know you very well known of this. What round was Jalen Johnson of the Bears? What round was he drafted in? Because he grew tremendously under Matt Eberflus system.
I think no.
I want to say second or third. Let me check it out. That one I don't know. I could check it out. But I mean, you could talk about even Kyler Gordon. It is all about coaching, guys. It is about coaching. It is about scheme. It is about what are they asking these guys to do. See, the thing about a guy like Jalen Johnson is that he's
not a big.
So he was a second round pick. Yep. So John in 2022, he's not a big DB. About 5'11". But it really is about, like, with Eberflus, he really does horn in on the basics. And so like he's not really big into like doing a bunch of goofy stuff, and play your assignment, do what you're supposed to do, you'll get on the field. That's how Kyler Gordon played so many reps, because he was able to come down, field, tackle, do those things. Everybody think that Matt Eberflus is going to play with three linebackers. He didn't do it in Chicago. He played with more DBs because Kyler Gordon was so good. And obviously Kyler Gordon just got paid. So that's one of those ones. Let's get to the super chat, guys. Oh, also almost 500 people in the chat. Thank you guys.
On with it.
Draft week, y'all. Rumors. We got John Machota, AOC, Law Nation. This has been a banger. Isaiah Bond has legal issues that he has to countersuit against his accuser. If the Cowboys miss on a receiver in round 1, is he an option in round 2 or 3? One of y'all want to take that?
I mean, that is a Cowboys type move, especially in the second round, to take somebody that there's questions about whether it be or questions about injury. So second seems a little rich, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. That might be more likely if, let's say they traded back in the first round and they got an additional third from a team, to move back a few spots. Maybe then they take Bond in the third, but I just think second's too rich, especially just because of just other needs that they would have.
Yeah, I agree. And then, I mean, the thing about Bond is like, to me, you have too many of that player on this roster already. Small guy, smaller guy. Like, even, okay, I'll say this. If they don't go Tet, man, I better try to get Jaden Higgins, try to get even Besh and go power slot. I just want another big target. Dak throws the seam so well. He throws the corner so well. He'll throw guys open. Go make a play. Like, I want to get bigger and more imposing at receiver. And with Bond, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, when with Bond, I'm cool. And honestly, he didn't play good this year. That's another thing. Yeah. He wasn't really that great this year. So, thank you for the super, but nah. Okay, let's get to my can everybody see that on the screen?
Yeah.
All right, so my final mock, I told myself I see y'all Thursday. And that's where I'm at. The rumors. I'll say this. I will say this. I'm like AOC. I'm trying to, for my mental health, because you do this because you put the work in, and you like, why would people even push certain narratives of old linemen or and then like, so like, that's what I said, for my mental health, I'm not arguing with nobody.
Not real talk.
It's good to be it's good to come on here and kind of vent, but like, this is where I'm at. I'm not changing. I'm not letting nobody talk me out of it. I even like the back and forth that me and AOC had about these positions, because that's healthy. We know we're trying to get a weapon. If it's about separation, because guess what? There's a world where Matthew Golden could be really good for the Cowboys, and I'm going to do this. Yay. Because they addressed a weapon. Yeah. But linemen and all that crap, and even like D tackle and some of that, you need to win now. Those are positions where the development track is different. So I went Ted McMillan, Carson Schlesinger. That was the one that I was really like, I think Dallas has him really high on their board. Will they draft him? I don't know. Brashard Smith, Marcus Harris. Marcus Harris, kind of a sleeper corner from Cal. CJ West, there goes your big body in a deep defensive tackle class. Dan Jackson, Georgia safety, captain type guy, run down on special teams. He'll always make the team, but he'll probably never be a starter. Here was one of my steals, Corey Kreiner. So Corey Kreiner started at LSU, guys. He is a downhill gap scheme type guy. He's just not fast.
Right.
So we got our juice and Brashard Smith. We got our downhill bruiser, punish you, and Croner. And the truth is, my thinking in doubling up at running back is throw as many bodies in that room as possible and may the best man win.
Stick. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then I went Hayden Conner, guard from Texas, Brew McCoy, big body receiver from Tennessee, and Luke Leachy. I think I'm saying that wrong. I messed it up. Somebody said that on my comments. Iowa tight end. Talk to me, guys. How we feel?
I mean, you addressed all the needs. I mean, you address the needs. As long as the draft address the needs, man, I don't give a damn what name it is. It could be Ronald McDonald. If that man can play DB, put him out there. I don't care, bro. So I like your draft. I mean, Ted, you got the linebacker and Schlesinger that's gonna kind of hold us over until Demo gets back. Right. Brashard Smith, SMU running back. I like it, bro. CJ West, the big back. Yeah, I like it.
I look at it like this: as long as you can defend your picks, man, and say, okay, this is how they can better the team, then it's all good. It's all gravy. At the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not having fun with this, then don't do it, right? So if Ted can help this team out, I know for sure, before playing in the National Football League, he have the higher prospect than a Jalen Brooks and a Jalen Tolbert, right? So immediately we can put him on the X and we can say, okay, let's get busy with this. We are worried about other things. Even with the 76 pick, I love that aspect because he's a very, very elusive running back that can run. And that you can say, okay, day one, you don't have to have him being your starter, right? And I get it, right? There will be people that look at this team and say, oh, here go the same old Cowboys. But I referenced this before in 2016. We had 7 running backs, including Ezekiel Elliott, So that's a lot of running backs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So just because we got a lot of volume there doesn't mean that we can't get no production. And it took Zeke about 2 or 3 games before his wheels got to rolling. So as long as we can defend that, I can tell you Carson's on this team with Matt Eberflus. Oh my goodness.
That's what I was thinking too, the pairing.
The pairing. Yeah. So like AOC said, you answered all of the needs, but here's the other part of it. I don't want all 10 of these guys starting.
Yeah. John.
Yeah, my only thing on it, and when I told you before the show that I wanted to share a thought on it, and everybody has their own opinions on stuff, and so I'm just saying for me, I can't get out of the top 100 without a corner. I just can't do it. I have way more concerns about corner than to wait longer than that. Like I need a guy that can come in and start. And I don't know that you're going to get that outside that top 100, especially because if they don't move with any of these picks, that gap, what is it? 75 to 149.
That's the one.
Like that's such a long time to wait. So
that's why we're getting Jair Alexander tomorrow, John.
What's up?
That's why we're getting Jair Alexander tomorrow.
Well,
that's an X match.
Wait a minute.
Then I reserve the right to change my opinion. Then.
No, John. I'm not gonna lie. I like that.
But John, here's the other thing, though. We have about $37 to $38 million. After the draft, there will be some other team to draft a DB, and they may release a veteran. So as long as they act early and fill in that voided area with a veteran DB, Asante Samuel Jr. still there. There still could be possibilities of Ramsey trade stock goes down or he get cut or released, and now we have Ramsey. So. I mean, anything can happen, man.
I might honestly be more concerned about corner than I am wide receiver, just to show you what level I'm at. Like if there was Surtain or Horn in this draft, I would be considering them at 12.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm glad this is high level. That's my word, AOC. High level.
You got a shirt yet?
So here's the thing, guys. Really and truthfully, we started this show with what, John? I'm concerned about Trevon Diggs, not just the injury, but the play. Just the play. It's not just the injury, it's the play. And then what happens? You talk about Will Johnson on Twitter, people throw tomatoes at you. You talk about, possibly, and I'm just like, and this is my time of the year. So Clint said that, and AOC said that in the chat. So now I get to get on my soapbox. This is what we do around this time of year. We look at a player or two that isn't great, and if we don't like the guy, we say he can't play. And I said that when it came to Will Johnson, I thought that was crazy work. Like a few people in the community start saying Will Johnson can't play, and then before you know it, everybody thinks that Will Johnson's not good. It's not fair.
That's
Will
crazy.
Johnson literally, if you go watch the championship game, just go type in Will Johnson versus Alabama 2023. Was the best player on the field, John. Wasn't close. Then go watch him versus Roma Dunze in the championship game. So the Alabama game was to get to the game. And then when he played against Roma Dunze, he was in a seatbelt. Like, just couldn't Roma Dunze couldn't get open. Literally couldn't separate from him. So we'll hold on to, and of course, right, we'll hold on to he didn't run the 40, John.
Right.
So that's the thing. Will Johnson didn't run a 40. To me, and like that, he meets the arm length. He's 6'2". He has championship pedigree. He's played on a defense that's a vision-based defense that's similar to what, Mike McDonald, those guys run a pro scheme. So
hey, Foots, let me ask you this. How you feel about hurt guys, though, coming off of an injury, because
outside of Harrison, most of these corners in this draft at the top are hurt. And with Jahdae Barron, people are throwing a party for Barron. He's had 1 year of production. He's been in college for 5 years. See, we leave those conversations out. He's been in college for 5 years. Last 2 years, he was a nickel. This year, he played on the edge. Some, and it's like Jahdae Barron should be the pick. No, he shouldn't. Like, I have all these guys pegged. Now, with Morrison, I agree. Morrison, that's rich. But I tell you this, Law.
So you got Malachi. You take Malachi over Jahdae, right? On your
yes, man. Yes, yes, bro. And that's another thing. Yes. I don't want to get started on the safety because this team isn't drafting a safety. But I would 100% take Malachi Starks over Jahdae Barron, bro. Yes. I love Jahdae Barron, but he ain't top 12. We're not going to do that. Now, what I will say is we've all talked about trading back, right? Would you, John, take Will Johnson at 20 and then address the rest of your needs, and now you feel a little bit better at corner, John?
Yeah, I mean, I could be interested in that. I don't know that they love Will Johnson. Again, the arm length thing isn't where they typically would use a first-round pick, so that makes me wonder. It's tough because outside of Travis Hunter, there's not really a DB. There's not really a corner that you're like, oh yeah, well, this guy's a top 20 pick. Like Travis Hunter goes top 2-3 picks. There might not be another corner taken until 25. There's or heck, they could fall to the second round. And so if they go back to 20, then you're getting a second round pick in return. So then you have 2. So I like that part of it. I'd have to see what else is out there, but I wouldn't hate that, because when he has played, he has been a good player. But yeah, the not running the 40 thing is a little bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, I mean, all right, let me ask you this, John. Did Ashton Jeanty run a 40?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know. I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
What do you think he run?
That wasn't to be. I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm just saying.
No, you're right though. But what do you think?
Jeanty's a 4.49 guy. Short
legs.
legs.
Seen him get caught from behind though?
Never.
Okay, so that's all I'm thinking. Shoot.
Never. And then to be honest, John, I think if you time Will Johnson, he probably is a 4.49 guy too. Like he's not 4.3, 4.4 blazing. But look at him play football. We've just gotten to this point, even with Ted. I wished he would have ran, and I wish he would have ran slower because we would definitely get him at 12 because people would make a huge mistake looking at 40 times and then saying, this is how this guy plays football. Because if you turn on the tape, Ted's not getting caught from behind. Ashton Jeanty's not getting caught from behind. Will Johnson, he's gotten beat before, but so is Travis Hunter. Kyle Williams ran right past Travis Hunter in 2023. Nobody talks about that. Torrey Horton destroyed Travis Hunter, and so did Ted McMillan, really. Well, Ted didn't destroy him. He just mossed him. But you guys get what I'm saying. So that's my soapbox on the draft and all this.
Don't you kind of feel, though, that, I don't know, I feel like there's probably a bigger group of running backs that have ran slower 40s that have had success in the NFL than corners and probably wide receivers. I just think in that position, the speed is so important.
Look at those,
and I also think that if
those
his speed wasn't in question and there weren't those questions about him, I think, especially with what this draft class is, I think he'd be a top 10 pick. But because of that stuff, that's why you see him as kind of like, probably mid to late first round. It's not like all teams need good corners, and this draft isn't that strong. If he checks all the boxes, he wouldn't even be there at 12.
And you know what, too, John? Maybe Ashton Genty not running his 40 Dallas can draft him. And I mean, US TV is telling us that these are some good numbers.
That seems like wishful thinking.
No, but I'll say this, guys. I'm with you, man. John, late in the process.
Trade up, let's say they traded up to 5. Ashton Genty's there and Travis Hunter's there.
Ooh.
Come on, John.
Who you taking?
Ooh.
Genty, man. Give me Genty over Hunter, man. Give me Genty, man.
I'm taking Ashton Genty, I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, Genty. It's just too many variables with Travis. What'd you say, Foot? Say that again.
I'm going Travis.
I love Travis
Hunter.
I can't do it. I just seen my team get killed by the battle of attrition last season, and you lose Travis Hunter, you lose 2 starters. I can't do it, bro.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But John's smiling because everybody look good at training camp at the running back position. You can put me out there with the helmet on, but Hunter will bring a lot of attention to this team on training camp. John, I know where you're going. Come on.
I'm not just saying for training. I'm saying for the entire season. I just think what he could potentially bring and help you in multiple spots. That if healthy, it would be tough for me to pass on him.
In the words of my guy, Vach Lombardi, we need to put the I'm just joking, y'all. Gun under the seat, guy. Gun under the seat. So he'll fall right to us. Come on.
So I'm taking Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys were the worst team in the NFL last year and had the 1, you guys taking Genty at 1?
No.
I'm holding that spot for ransom. Somebody gonna move up to get that spot. We would be.
I mean, there's really only 3 options. It's them 2 and Abdul Carter.
Somebody gonna be froggy though.
Well, apparently, John, it was gonna be my last. This is what's happened, John. Tennessee's going Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
In your assessment, John, you're right, because it does sound like no matter all the needs that Cleveland has, quarterback, all this stuff, they are pretty much locked in with Travis Hunter. Like that's the betting favorite to go Hunter. Then Abdul Carter at 3. So apparently, what I'm hearing is the draft starts at 4.
At 4.
Apparently that's just where it is. Cleveland's people have kind of let out the bag that they love.
People say the Patriots going Will Campbell.
Yeah. They say that
guaranteed the Patriots going Will Campbell.
But remember, AOC, when we started talking, they said we started talking, and a lot of people would come on this chat and saying that the Patriots are going Ted. They're going.
Nah, we said they found what they think is their franchise quarterback of the next generation. So they about to try to get guys to protect them now. They're gonna try to keep them upright, bro.
Yeah.
So tell me though,
Vrabel is not going.
This question. They can't trade back. Yeah. They got the first overall pick. Who are you taking?
In this draft.
Yeah.
In this draft.
Man.
Bro, I would go. I told you who I would go.
Why this year, though? You'll use any other.
I would draft Travis Hunter, man.
That's why it's a good question, because there's not an obvious answer.
Travis Hunter would be my guy, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would probably take. I probably lean Travis, and Abdul would be like a close second.
Yeah.
We just watched this kid play both sides of the ball all game, and a lot of people have found ways to diminish it. And I heard somebody say that should be more celebrated. Like he did that and put top 10 tape on at both positions, John. That's crazy work.
The work you put in shouldn't be diminished, bro. I think if anything, the questions are becoming valid if you say like, hey, he got hit in the ribs against, Colorado State, and I mean it was a nasty hit, but damn, you didn't think it was gonna keep him out that long, and it's like that completely destroyed Colorado that season, bro. So it's like, man,
I do remember that.
You see him getting injured. You see him kind of his frame is super thin, and he needs to put NFL weight on, bro. That's what scares me the most about Travis Hunter is he's so thin. I just feel like, bro, playing both sides of the ball, either getting hit or trying to deliver a hit. I just don't know, man. Not in the NFL. I don't know, man.
He gives you kind of like Chad Johnson's type of size on his max weight gaining capabilities, and he can run. I don't know what his 40 time is, but he gets separation. He's a good route runner. And where do you put him, Foots? Like out of all of the wide receivers in this draft, is he definitively the number 1? And out of all of the DBs in the draft, is he definitively number 1?
That's a great question, bro. So looking at my stack and how I had it was, I did have Let me make sure. Let me not get the line on here. Hold on.
I know.
Can I be honest with you? To come in to start the year, Law, I had Ted as a better receiver, and the only thing that's really changed is that he really just Travis was just like able to keep it up. It's just incredible. He won the Heisman. He kept getting better as a receiver and as a DB, but like nothing changed in a way that's like, yeah. So I had, let me look at my stack. I'm looking at my stack now. So
and while you're looking at that stat, I'm gonna just throw this out there. If Genty was on Colorado, would he been enter in to being a Heisman? And if you pick Hunter and you put him on Boise, would he be entered in for a Heisman there? Just flip the two.
Hunter's winning the Heisman, whatever school he's at.
Okay. Yeah, because remember what he did at Jackson State. He's incredible, bro.
I mean, the other part with Travis Hunter to me is how good these Georgia and Alabama defenses have been for the last 20 years. And it's not like that all their players go and dominate in the NFL. Part of the reason that they're so dominant is because there's not a weakness on their defense. So you're playing with all these other great players. I can't even imagine Travis Hunter at Alabama or Georgia, one of those defenses where you have to, you can't just pick on him. You can't go away from him, because there's good players all over. I mean, he would have been nasty at any school that he was at. I do think you can say the same for Genty. Yeah. I mean, if he's at Alabama or he's at Ohio State, he's killing it no matter what. But I don't think the school matters for Travis Hunter. I think he's tearing it up wherever he's at.
Thanks.
So this is how I wrote it down. For my cornerbacks, I had Travis Hunter 1, Will Johnson 1A, 1B. I really this time last year, guys, Will Johnson was a higher rated cornerback than Travis Hunter. And then this year it happened. And with receiver, I didn't rank Travis as a receiver because all I had heard was he was just going to be playing cornerback in the league. And then he came out and said he wanted to play both. And I think some of that is too, Stefanski wants him to. Like he's the type of coach that'll put in a package his offense. He already has not a great receiver, but Jerry Jeudy played good this year. Right. So that's really it. But guys, I got to tell you, man, this may have been our best show ever. And like we were able to get you guys prepared. Almost 500 people, guys, on a Monday afternoon. That's okay, John. That's pretty good, man. You got something, John? You look like you cooking something.
No, I'm just thinking that I think our best shows are the ones when it gets heated to the point where AOC leaves for a second. And so that didn't happen in this one.
So not our best. Okay. Not our best.
This can be the next tier down.
Next tier.
He doesn't do the show.
Well, John, I was looking at the numbers on it might be draft week too. It might just be draft week as well.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. I got a feeling that Wednesday we'll get so much news that AOC he'll cut somebody. You know what it is? I know exactly what it is.
You might see me Kool-Aid man run through the wall depending on what they do in the draft, bro.
Hey, but you know what though, John? Sarge hasn't been messing with AOC. He's been too nice. Sarge, where you at? Come on, man. We got to keep this battle going. But now, guys, man, what a great show. Guys, listen. I want to say this because I got to say this. Whoever we draft, like AOC said, let's just make it make sense. Yeah. It could be a center. Let's just make it make sense. Let's just make it make sense, guys. Let's try not to bash these young men. As I've gotten older, I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Like,
now, I ain't trying to do all that, man.
When you get to the Cowboys and you start doing stupid stuff, then I'm gonna call you out on it. But you 21, 22, 23, and like I even said with Duke and all that, I'll put my name on it because I mean this isn't Law or AOC or John saying this. This is Foot saying this.
I mean, I agree with Foot though. By the way, I mean,
I'll put my name on it.
I'm firmly behind.
I
agree about it. So
you say John.
I agree with Duke.
No, me and Duke had a real going. We had a back and forth, but I don't believe in throwing away a 23-year-old kid.
I think it's cool.
I don't think he's throwing him away. Yeah. I think that's a little.
Are they
strong.
still working together? I see y'all talking about that. Are they still working together, Foots? Do we know?
No. Well, no, I don't think that they are.
Well, I don't know if they working together.
Because why would Duke talk about his client like that? The wording would definitely be.
Bro, he know how Cowboys fans.
You know they take everything.
That was kind of shicey to me, bro. If you was training a guy, whether you working with him still or not. Come on, man. You don't add no fuel to the fire, especially you know what kind of fan base Tyler Guyton got, the kind of year he had his first season, bro. You just, man, we in the
and it was so wild how many people took a victory lap.
I know how y'all feel about that, but just to be fair to Duke, he will be working, even though it's two different programs, you know, he will be working a little bit with Connor Riley on some few things, but it's not going to be any contractual. So as they all say, mud is easier to get off once it dries. So with Tyler Guyton, he's going to work well in this system, regardless whether he worked with Duke or not, because of his athleticism. He's going to be, hey, like you said, getting upfield is the other guy, Tyler Booker's. Yeah. He don't do well. But moving laterally, Tyler Guyton, he's going to be able to screen and get out to the edge. So we're going to see a different team. And people don't fly all the way in. Lane Johnson don't fly all the way in to work with Duke Manyweather for nothing, right? So I get it, though. But Duke is Duke, you know.
He's done a great job, but
But also, I mean, you also got to factor this in, too. I mean, when you coach so many guys, like, and I don't even know the background of a lot of stuff you're talking about. I'm just saying in general, like, he works with so many people, like, there's just no way that you're going to have, like, just think of your own lives, like, good working relationships with every single person you work with. You know, there's always going to be, hey, maybe this person doesn't work as great with this person as they do with somebody else. But I know he has a strong reputation amongst the players. I mean, there's a lot of them that I've talked to that speak very highly of him. And I know with him being close, I mean, the facility he works at is right next door to the Star. And so obviously that was a big help for Zach Martin when he was in his contract holdout to be able to stay in shape and work over there and do all that stuff. So there's a lot of positive that comes with it too. Obviously that O-line masterminds and stuff, but I just think it'd be foolish to think that you're going to get along with every single person. Everything's going to work great. Every player is going to work. I mean, there's just always going to be some things. So
yeah. All right, man. What a great show for Law Nation. John Machota, AOC, Law, and remember,
you're listening to the four goats over here. Come on, Wade. Come on with it. Yeah.
Much love, y'all. See y'all Wednesday. See y'all Wednesday. Peace.
Yeah.